Hey guys, welcome back to Impact. Today we're going to be working on this 89 Fox Body Mustang as we were last video, and I'll let Red run you through what we're going to be doing today.
We're going to be installing some AN and PTFE power steering hoses for this GM Type 2 pump that came with our CVF serpentine kit.
So these are our fitting sets from Breeze Automotives, and these connect the power steering rack to the 6 AN line.
The 5/8 fitting will go in this top hole, then the 9/16 will go in the bottom. The 5/8 fitting is going to be installed first with the included O-ring. Now the 9/16 fitting with the O-ring will be installed. Alright guys, so now that we have our fittings installed for the power steering rack, we're now going to work on our remote reservoir. We are going to tap in the baffle for the return line from the steering rack, and we're going to put in the fittings, which will be 6 AN for the return from the rack and a 10 AN, which will be the return from the reservoir to the pump. Now we're going to be putting our fittings on the return line from the steering rack to the reservoir. These are AN fittings, so we're going to show how to put AN fittings onto the hose. You will unscrew the end piece completely, set this to the side. You'll take the end piece and the threads will go to the outside of the line. Push the end piece all the way on. Now that this part of the fitting has the hose flush with the threads on the inside, we're going to screw this part of the fitting. Now we'll take our AN fitting wrench to keep from marring up the fitting too bad, and tighten it up. Now we're going to test fit our line from where the reservoir is going to be to the steering rack so that we can cut it, put the other fitting on, and get it installed. Now that we have the length we need for our hose, we're going to tape where we're going to cut so that the nylon sheath doesn't fray whenever we cut through it. Now we're going to install the fitting for the other side the exact same way we did the first.
Alright guys, so this is your low pressure return line. It goes from your power steering reservoir all the way to your power steering pump. This is a 10 AN line, and we'll install it just like the 6 AN line.
So now we're going to install the PTFE line, which is going to be our high pressure line. These fittings are different. You have a nut, you have a ferrule, and then your fitting. So to install your nut, you can leave the tape on. It makes it easier to install the nut. Put it on, slide it back. Then you can take your tape off. Now that the tape is off, we'll take our ferrule and we'll install it in between the braided part and in between the nylon tubing. You want to make sure that your nylon tubing is up flush with the inside of the ferrule. Whenever it is, you can take your fitting, push it in, bring your nut up, and tighten the nut.
Alright, so this is the bottom side of our reservoir, and we've already tapped this baffle in, and it comes with an O-ring to seal that off. You probably want to lubricate that a little bit and slide it on. And we'll seat it down and put those fittings on, and then screw the top part of the reservoir on.
Now that we have our lines hooked to the fittings on the bottom of our reservoir, we're now going to screw on the body of the reservoir, then we'll screw on the top. Now we're installing the set screws into the reservoir bracket to hold down the reservoir. This wraps up our installation of custom AN and PTFE power steering line hoses. Alright guys, thanks for watching Impact. Like and subscribe for more.